Thank you, Madam Chair.
Call Jonathan Young.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Pleased to stand and speak here on the committee stage of the Crown Minerals Amendment Bill. This is a bill which commenced its life and journey under the previous government and carried on by the current government, and does address some pertinent issues. We have received an SOP from the Minister that seeks to bring alignment between this bill and the Crown Minerals Petroleum Bill that passed just recently, and in order to bring just correct alignment, because the Petroleum Amendment Bill, well, the Act now is in play, and we need to ensure that this is aligned. In regard to this particular stage, some questions that we would like the Minister to consider is, in terms of the change of ownership of operator, we would certainly be keen to hear around the provisions that create an exclusion for OMV, who were in the process of change of ownership from Shell to themselves prior to the bill coming to the House. And we would seek assurance that exclusion and provision is still robust, still continues as they go through their final stages of their change of ownership. The change of ownership, of course, is a very important aspect in the petroleum space in particular, to have government oversight, and it's pertinent that this bill actually addresses that and is in particular focus on those transitions of operator. It's pertinent to understand that the Economic Development, Science and Innovation Select Committee have spent considerable time looking at this bill, even though it's particularly short, but it does address those issues. Just in regard to the previous speaker's question regarding financial capability of new operators who come in, and the question about what is the test of that, I would also like the Minister, if possible, to answer the question around the financial but also operative or operational capability when it comes to the of those companies that take operator control when it comes to the end of life decommissioning of a field. And of course we have an example of that in offshore Taranaki, where the interests of AWE have been passed through to Tamarind. And Tamarind have specialist capability around decommissioning end-of-life fields. They have that ability because of the niche operations, because of the expertise, to be able to bring further resources and capability on those fields, and to bring those further resources to market. So I would be interested to hear from the Minister, if possible, just around decisions, particularly for companies who take over operator control, who have a specialist field in end of life or the decommissioning of a field, just what the criteria are. How do they ascertain that they have that capability? Because the concern was, when this bill, or the reason why this bill came to market, came to this House, was because there was concern that if a company did take over operator control of a field, that if they didn't have that capability to do the decommissioning as required, then the cost of that would fall to the Crown. And that, of course, is a concern. And also it's a concern to other companies in the sector, in the industry, because they did not want to suffer reputational risk regarding that. So if possible, can the Minister please give us some greater clarity on the assessment when there's a change of operator, particularly around an operator coming and starting to work on a field that's at the end of life. So there are a number of fields, of course. There's the Tui field, there's the Maui field. Those would all be considered to be mature fields, all offshore fields. So there are considerable... Thank you, Madam Chair.
I call Maureen Pugh.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.